There
I'm
she
on.
is. You
Can
know
you hear
this
me?
girl.
I can't see. Wave your hand. Oh,
The one in the dark.
there she is. How are you?
Very well, thanks.
Good to see you, honey.
Yeah, you too. So my question is that um, in all those years you've been doing the course and doing the course, has there ever been a moment where you completely lost trust in its content? And if yes, how did you deal with it? What did you do about it?
Let's put it this way. Losing trust in the content, I would rather say I've become depressed and I've been disgusted with myself and I felt I wasn't progressing. But a friend of mine came all the way from California to New York, where we were living at the time, just to meet Helen. He was a professor at Stanford University and he was studying the course, and all he wanted to do was to talk to Helen about A Course in Miracles. And she didn't want to talk about that. She wanted to talk about statistics, which is what his field was, and her too. And so they talked for a few hours, and then he looked at his watch. I have to go to the airport. I can't wait anymore. He said, while I'm leaving, can I ask you one question about A Course in Miracles? She said, all right. So he said, how do you feel about it? And she thought for a second and she said, I know it's true. I just don't believe it. I know it's true. I just don't believe it. And he left. And I remember saying to her, it was interesting what you said to Willis, because I knew he really wanted to know how you felt. But I think you misspelled one word. Now, we're talking about English. I know it's true. I just don't believe it. And I said, you misspelled the word don't, D-O-N apostrophe T. What you really meant was won't. I know it's true. I just won't believe it. So that becomes an act of willingness. Helen knew it was true. I have never doubted that it was true, ever. I didn't lose faith in the course. I lost faith in me, which is very different. Now, how did I come back to it? I once threw the book in the bay when I was in California. I got so angry at it that I just tossed it into the water. Well, that's not such a very brave thing to do, because we were the publishers and I had more copies. I couldn't say I sacrificed some money. But I was so angry at it, I wouldn't study it for days. Who was I angry at? I couldn't be angry at the course. It was just a mirror. I was angry at myself. I didn't want, like Helen, I didn't want to do it. And she had said in the beginning, I will take it down, but I will not use it. Now, why is that? The woman it was given to would take it down and wouldn't use it. I have a theory about that. She was always angry at the course, but she knew it very well. I have a theory about that. That's just a theory. I feel if Helen had actually allowed herself to demonstrate the course as a perfectly aware human being, I wouldn't have gone near her, and a lot of people wouldn't either. People like that sometimes are very fearful because you measure yourself against them. What do you want to do that for? You'd rather not be in their presence. So I think Helen's whole act was not on purpose. She had to believe it. She had to believe she didn't want to believe it. But I think that was her role. I think her role was not just to take the course down and give it in the form in which she was given it, but at the same time, not to be a guru, not to stand up on a high platform, not to have herself seen as what she really was, so that she kept it from herself too. It was interesting that Helen, at the end of her life, was not a very happy person. But at the moment of her death, even though we weren't there because I was in California, but Ken and her husband were in the room until about an hour before she died, and she waited until they left. Her face was radiant. Her husband and Ken got back to the room as the doctor called them when they got home. He said, she just passed. Would you like me to just let her be? And they said, absolutely, don't touch her. And they came back, and Ken told me she had the most beautiful smile on her face. It was a smile that he'd never seen before. So what happened that last second? I don't know. It doesn't really matter, because she was a great teacher to anybody who knew her. First of all, she was a terrific psychologist, and she was insightful, and she was, anyone who went to her for advice really got it. And I got plenty of it, and I was not happy. She did not suffer fools lightly, and at the same time, she had very little patience. So I made a lot of mistakes, and I wasn't too happy about that, but she was a fabulous teacher, and I still miss her. I still, in my mind, say, what would Helen tell me to do in this situation? And I'd get a pretty good answer. So when I lost faith, it was never in the course, but in myself. And I knew that. I could walk away from it. It would still be there. It would still be helpful to other people. Basically, when I felt really down and I remembered, these days I certainly have improved. I remember much earlier. I would either go and open it up and force myself to read something at random, and of course it would be exactly what I needed to hear. Or I would say to myself, don't be so hard on yourself, give yourself some time. And then again, turn it over to the Holy Spirit and say, please help me. I'm lost. Please help me. Because that's the only way that you get out of it. No one can do it for you, and you really can't do it yourself. You say, help me. 2 words.
Thank you.